In this video we will see 5 ways to understand what a fraction is. We often understand a fraction as a fraction of a shape. For example, here is a circle divided into 6 equal parts, or sixths, and we could say the fraction here is 0/6, or just the number 0. If we have 6/6, that means we have the whole shape, which is represented by the number 1. We can divide any shape into sixths, not just a circle. So here is a square, and again we're going to divide this into 6 equal parts, which are sixths. In a fraction like 5/6, the top number is called the numerator, and that tells us the number of equal parts in our fraction. The bottom number is called the denominator, and that tells us the total number of equal parts into which we have divided our whole, the whole square. Can you say those words? Numerator, denominator. We could also have a fraction of an amount. So 3/4 isn't just necessarily 3 parts out of 4, it could be 3/4 of a number, in this case 36. So to do this, we remember you divide by the bottom and you multiply by the top. So here we take 36 divided by 4, the denominator, and then we multiply by 3, the numerator. That gives us 9 times 3, which is 27. We can link this to a fraction of a shape by making a rectangle to represent 36 and then dividing that into 4 equal parts. Each one of those is 9. So to get 3/4, we'll take 3 of them. So as we can see, the answer is 27. Fractions form part of a number system, which we can visualize on a number line. So we'll start by looking at the whole numbers, or integers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're probably very familiar with those, you've known those for a long time. See the fractions, we're going to zoom in on the number line between 0 and 1, and then we're going to divide the line into smaller parts. And you can see there we've divided between 0 and 1 the line into 6 equal parts, and that means we're going up in sixths. So the first fraction after 0 would be 1/6, and then it goes up. When we get to 1, that's the same number as 6/6. Could we have a fraction bigger than 1? Well, yes, the fraction after 1 would be 7/6. And then it goes up in sixths. Now you couldn't necessarily have more than one of a circle or a rectangle or an object, but you could have a number bigger than 1. Now these fractions bigger than 1 we would call improper fractions. Often we wouldn't use 7/6, we would call it 1 and 1/6, because that makes it clear that it is a number between 1 and 2, and these are called mixed numbers. We could use fractions and mixed numbers to measure a length, for example how tall you are. So you are very unlikely to be exactly 4 feet or 5 feet or 6 feet tall, you will be somewhere in between. Likewise, we could use a fraction to measure any quantity that varies continuously, for example any length, a weight, or a length of time. 2 divided by 5. So imagine we are dividing 2 bottles of juice among 5 children. How much juice does each child get? The answer is 2/5. We want to divide 2 into 5 equal parts, and we'll start by saying that 2 is 1 plus 1. Now we will divide each of the ones into 5 equal parts. So what we are doing is dividing each one before we add them together. And this is called the distributive law. So we get a fifth plus a fifth, which adds up to 2/5. The way we understood in the previous question was dividing a number into equal parts, and that's called partitive division, although you don't need to know these words. The other way is called quotative division, and that essentially means how many times one number fits inside another. And we can in fact divide this into 3 further subtypes. So starting with the first subtype, that will be how many times one number fits inside another. So we'll come back to 2 divided by 5 in a minute, but first of all we're going to look at an easier problem. Now here we're saying 5 miles per hour, so that means you're going in 1 hour 5 miles. So really we're asking there, how many times does 5 fit into 15? Well, that's easy. It's 15 divided by 5, which is 3. And each hour you go 5 miles. 5, 5, 5, 15. The equivalent of quotative division when your answer is a fraction is asking what fraction is one number of another. And that's the case we have in the problem we're looking at. The third and final type of quotative division could be, I suppose, when you have a combination of the whole number answer and the fraction answer. So your answer might be, for example, 2.5 hours, and you could count that as a third type. It's 2 miles at 5 miles per hour, so that's looks a bit harder, but we're still going to divide by 5. So this time it's going to be 2 divided by 5. And that is, yeah, it's 2/5, just like we thought. So how do we understand this? Well, that's the 2 miles and that's the 5 miles. So, like I said, what fraction of? What fraction is 2 miles of 5 miles? So here's a little animation. Put 2 miles on top of the 5 miles, and we can see that the 2 miles is in fact exactly 2/5 of the 5 miles. So what's that? Quick maths, 24 minutes. Bingo. I hope this video has helped your understanding of fractions.